Hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Night Football. Welcome to our match reaction show. It's finished. Brighton 1, Manchester United 0. Last kick of the game. Brighton get the win. And if you ask me, they deserve the win. They deserve to win this game. And we'll start from the back, and we'll start from the fact about that penalty. Was that a penalty? I don't think anybody can say it wasn't a penalty. I think it was quite obvious. The only thing I think that the commentators what's Shaw doing. I think Shaw felt. I think it was Dunk. He felt Dunk on him, and he decided to raise his arm as like, "Oh, I'm being fouled." And then that's not what you do in a situation like that. You've got to be more smart. And I think Shaw just wasn't very smart about it. And I'm not saying that Dunk fouled him. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that he felt Dunk on him, and he thought, "Oh, I'll just go down and get myself, a cheap free kick," which didn't happen. He basically, he just it hit his arm, and the ref didn't give a free kick. So if Martin had given that as a free kick, it wouldn't be a problem. It would just been, yeah, it's a foul. But because they didn't give us a free kick, then it becomes a handball, and it's a chance for us to score, and it shouldn't have been a free kick because it wasn't a foul either. So Brighton deserved the win, though. I think on the balance of play, I think it was fairly even in the first half, but in the second half, Brighton just dominated it. And I think what's an indictment is that if Caicedo had played that whole game in midfield, I think Brighton would have won comfortably. They probably would have won 2-0, 3-0, something like that. Because the only reason why United had joy was because Caicedo wasn't in that midfield. So there was opportunities where the balls would be, where ball was being given away. The defense wasn't very used to him being a right back, so they were a little bit shaky. When United were breaking, but once they got a hang of it. And once they nullified Rashford, the whole game fell apart. Once Caicedo moved into midfield in the second half, towards the end of the second half, they just dominated that game. And that is an indictment of the squad of Manchester United, of how, despite all the improvements that people talk about, despite some people talking that it's going to be a title challenge, there's going to be nothing next season. It's going to be back to top 4 business because the team just has so many holes and the drop off is so huge. And I'm going to blame Ten Hag here as well. I'm not going to go and do the whole Glazers out rant because that's not important. And then I got a few things wrong. Number one, he should have taken off Fred quite in the second half. He should have brought in Sabitzer much earlier than he did, because I think Sabitzer just, when he came on, he looked lively and he looked like someone who had understood the game. Fred just constantly gave the ball away. He's constantly getting robbed of the ball, and then he just sits down and smiles like a dumbass. I just don't know what Fred brought to this team. I really don't. And ultimately, that's what it is. It was disappointing to see him, and he should have come off much earlier. I thought when Sancho came on, Sancho should have come on for Martial, because Martial, again, to me, the problem for Martial is that he's lost his pace because of the fact that he's been injured for so long. I think he's now lost his pace as well quite a bit. And when you come back after so many injuries, your body, even if you don't want it, your mind subconsciously tells you, go easy, go easy. And so sometimes he doesn't sprint like he used to. He doesn't press like he used to. He's become a bit of a liability because of that, because he's not at his best pace, as at his best, mentally, physically, he's not his best, and he's become a bit of a liability. I was surprised to see him start today, and I hope we don't see him start a lot of games in the next few ones, at least the important ones, at least until top 4 can be secured. If it will be secured, he shouldn't be starting here because he's just a liability. And I thought he should have come off for Sancho, and then you put Rashford at number 9, and you put Sancho on the left. What is interesting as well from a United point of view is the fact I think Ten Hag has made his mind up about Pellistri, because there's no reason why you'd bring on Weghorst when you need a goal. You don't bring on Weghorst instead of Pellistri. Either Pellistri should have come on for Martial, and he should have gone to the right. Sancho goes to the left. Rashford plays center. That's what it should have been. But I think he's made up his mind that Pellistri doesn't have a future at the club. That's why he brought on Weghorst. And the moment you bring on Weghorst, you pretty much told the team we're not looking to win this game anymore, because Weghorst offers nothing offensively. And again, it just, when you bring on Weghorst, what it does is that the whole team suffers, because immediately you start, the defense can push up, because Weghorst doesn't have the pace to run behind you, so you can just push up in a high line. And he's physical, but he's not particularly good at winning balls and winning second balls. So it's just, he's just, I don't know, he's just a body at this point, and it's just sad to watch. But nonetheless, there was the things that he got wrong. I think subs especially he got wrong. He got the starting 11 wrong as well. I feel if he was going to rest Eriksen, which I thought was the right decision, not to play Eriksen in a game like this anyway, then you've got to play Sabitzer, not Fred, because Fred has been atrocious the last few games. So I don't know why he started him. But again, I don't think we'll see much of him starting games as well between now and the end of the season. So that was there. It's unfortunately sure. I thought Brighton were good, especially in that second half. Just dominated the game. Mitoma, I thought, looked excellent. Again, I don't know why Wan-Bissaka decided to stand off him so much, especially when he had such joy against him in the in the cup game. I don't know why he decided to change his tact and not engage him one-on-one. But Mitoma was fantastic. Solly March was brilliant as when he came on. They couldn't apply the finishing touches, but he had some wonderful dribbles and mazy runs. And I like watching Brighton. And you know, the press was just, it's incredible to watch how high they press and how much they play through the back. Again, another surprising thing was United tried to play out from the back a few times as well. Something that they did very well in the cup final was the cup semi-final was they decided not to press, not to play out from the back. They just went long every time. I don't know why they decided to change that. Maybe Ten Hag is kind of figured out the top four is done, which is a mistake if he thinks that. But I think maybe he thought it's done, so he's trying out some different things to see what works for next season. But this team can't play out from the back. And if they do that against Manchester City in the cup final, they're going to get slaughtered. So there's a lot to work on, of course, between now and that game for Ten Hag. But most important thing he needs to identify is best 11. That's going to play that game and just play them consistently. I also think today we saw the limitation of Dalot at left back. It's worked out so far, and it's worked out as an emergency thing. But I think today we saw against a team that presses high up the pitch, I think his lack of a left foot can be a problem. And maybe it's time to give Malacia a run on that left side. Maybe Dalot plays back at right back. Maybe it's Wan-Bissaka, but I don't think Dalot should be playing left back against Manchester City, because I just think that his lack of a left foot today was exploited, a few times. He gave it the ball away a few times. The ball got stuck under him. He was kind of panicky as well. So there's that. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, like I said, Brighton is the winner. Marcus Rashford was poor as well. And a lot of people say Marcus Rashford is better off the left wing than a striker. I think this season, Rashford has been better off as a striker. I think he should be playing as a striker, because you play him as a left wing, you almost kind of say, right, you're not going to create anything from that wing. It's all going to be, run down the line, run the line, shot. And that doesn't work. You need Rashford to have, Rashford, I don't know what it is. I think maybe he feels the pressure on himself to get goals. And so he feels like he needs to take a shot every time he gets into a promising position. But the number of times he ignores good passes or easy passes is just something to watch, which he doesn't do when he plays a striker. Ironically, when he plays a striker, he does actually kind of tend to play people in. But I just feel like he needs to play there, and Sancho needs to play on the left. I think that's got to be the front three now. Antony, Rashford, and Sancho has got to be the front three. I know they can't play every game, but between now and then, that's got to be your front three. And that's good. He's got to give them enough time to gel together as a unit. But which is, like I said, there's a lot of questions to answer for Brighton. It's a massive win. I don't know if they'll be making it to the Champions League places. It's kind of possible. They could go above Liverpool if they win their 2 games in hand, of course, as I'm looking at it here. But they have 6 games and they're about 8 points off of Manchester United. So it is a bit tough to get there, but they definitely are in the conversation for the Europa League spots. And I hope they do get it. I hope Liverpool fall down into the Conference League. I really do. But I you know what? I feel like Manchester United will somehow looking likely that they might just bottle that final 4th spot, because they've got West Ham away. West Ham might rest a few players because they've got a big European semi-final coming up. So that's a possibility. Wolves, okay, it's at home, might be a win there. Bournemouth, they've got games, winnable games. But the only question is, can they actually go and win them? That's a big question. United have shown a propensity to bottle, so we'll see what happens. But fantastic win for Brighton, though, and absolutely well done. Wonderful play. And I hope they keep most of their squad next season. Now people are talking about Mac Allister leaving, Caicedo leaving. I mean, Enciso looked good today. Buonanotte looked good today. So they've got good players. I know people talk about all of them being targeted by other titles, but I hope that they will try and keep at least most of their squad. Maybe give away 1 or 2 players at most, but keep most of the squad, because I'll have to see what they will do in Europe next season. But anyway, let me know your thoughts on the game. Of course, smash like if you enjoyed this video. Share your thoughts, as I said, and do subscribe to our channel on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Of course, always love to hear your comments and love for your support. Take care. We'll see you again very soon. Of course, another video, because we're going to do one more today. So stay tuned for that. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.